No, I don't think you're like that to her. But
Sandy and Marie are like my mamas.
I know. That's why I was like, I feel like am I reading something into that or no?
No, I'm just doing that for like promote her.
Maybe raise it up just a little bit. Is that comfortable for you?
Yeah.
I know how you like big things in front of your mouth.
It's so big. I don't know how it's gonna fit.
And welcome to Ducking Reality, everybody.
I'm gonna do the Trixie and Katya thing and be like, hi, I'm the tote bag that comes with a fragrance as a gift with purchase, but you give it to your cousin, Trixie Mattel. Wait, I'm so sorry. That's the wrong show. No.
Yeah, bitch, I'm not a drag queen. You are. Cheers, Trey, and welcome back to Ducking Reality.
Thank you.
We have wine this time. I have a bowl packed. We are actually recording.
Yes.
The first time we sat down, something did not go as planned.
Totally didn't record.
We did not. It just kept blinking at us brilliantly, like, look at me, Siobhan, look at me. I was too busy looking at your beautiful face, Boo.
Oh, thank you. I was looking at yours, and I don't know how technology works, so, because I'm feral.
Oh. Trey has become my boo. He's like my favorite person in the world. I'm actually going to let him stay in my house while I'm away. That's a big, huge deal for me.
Wait, we're doing that.
We are, yeah. You have this place for 2 weeks.
I literally forgot.
You literally were drunk.
I was very...
I was a little crossfaded myself that night.
Yay!
But yeah, you get this place to yourself for 2 whole weeks.
Thanks, Boo. Mm-hmm. I love that. Love that journey for me.
I love that journey for you. There's a wine glass in the fridge or in the cabinet that says that. My friend Lauren gave it to me.
Alexis Rose, we love her.
Yeah. She sent me that and like my favorite murder thing, and I loved it.
I started watching Schitt's Creek, and then like seeing Alexis Rose, she literally became my whole like personality during the pandemic. It was she became my entire personality trait. I was just like, yes.
I love that show. I've watched it probably like 3 times.
It makes you feel good. Yeah. There's nothing like things technically bad happen, but like it's nothing that it's not work throughable, which I definitely feel like is, I don't want to say inspirational, but it's kind of like if you see these people like literally just working through it and getting it done, like you can too.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I saw your t-shirt that says work hard or nobody cares. And I was like, I need that. So Trey, tell me your kind of origin story. Give me your like who you are at the bar.
Oh, my villain.
Not just at the bar, but
my
like,
villain story.
Your villain story. Are you a villain?
I don't know. Maybe.
Are you the villain in my life?
I'm not. Never to you.
No, I know.
But a couple people.
Ooh, you can be a shady bitch. It's one of the things I love about you.
I wouldn't call myself shady. I would call myself a nuck till you buck bitch. Like if you wanna like run your mouth, I'll correct it. Because I always keep the receipts, baby. And I always have them. And I always will. So.
Okay.
That being said. So origins...
You have not always been this sassy, though.
Oh, no. No. I grew up in a... To like the whole origin story?
Well, whatever you want to share with us.
Okay, great. So I grew up here in the Bay. Mm-hmm. When I was, grew up super religious, Christian, Catholic. There's one point where I was going to both on the same day. Oof. It was dreadful. But like, I had my parents, I had my grandparents. My grandparents, I fucking adored them growing up, all that stuff. Yeah, so then when I was about 12, middle school, getting ready to go into 7th grade, we moved to Sacramento. Definitely uprooting. Very, very new, very foreign. I was going to public school, I was going to private school, started going to public. And so that was definitely a culture shock. And so I got bullied a lot. I was the quiet one. Wasn't developing a lot. I was like, I'm just going to be dainty all my life. But like I discovered a love in music. I joined band and it was the best thing ever. going into high school until about sophomore year, I was still bullied, whatever, shit happens.
Right.
But it wasn't until junior year that I finally I joined the jazz band. I became the vocalist and the saxophone player. I started doing drama. I started clapping back at the bullies that were basically like, you're a F word, and so then I became the Regina George of band, and it was glorious because for me, it was a defense mechanism. I was definitely like, I'd rather hurt you than get hurt back because it was a lot. I think somewhere down the line, freshman year, I started coming out as bisexual.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because for me, it was kind of like I was called a fag so much that like I was definitely very, I was like, well, am I? And I knew that deep down I was gay. But I didn't want to accept it because, I had been raised in the church.
Right.
If you're gay, you go to hell. You're a sinner, all of this stuff. And, so freshman year, I want to call it a soft opening. I came out as bisexual.
Cracked the door to the closet.
I cracked the door. And I was like, okay, that's not working right now. So let me just close the bar back up.
Yeah.
I got a girlfriend to appease my parents, not to appease my parents, but to like get them off my back a little bit.
Did she know she was your beard, or was she?
Funny thing, plot twist.
Oh, I love
she ended up becoming bisexual and she dumped me for a girl.
Oh.
So, and then we became best friends. So,
and that's our origin story. No, I'm just
Period.
The end.
So, like high school was pretty tumultuous. I relied on music and drama and a lot of the creative writing. I had some of my English teachers, Miss Smith and Miss Goldman. Hey girls, I love y'all. If you ever listen to this, you guys were I can't forget my music teacher, excuse me. Miss Greenwood. You three ladies were literally the best part of high school. So thank you guys so much. I wouldn't be here today if they hadn't, in a way, they kind of protected me. They kept me safe. They made me feel like I was actually valuable and very like I was gifted, So
And
shout out
are.
to you. So I love y'all. Anyway, where was I?
High school.
High school was shit. My teachers were were amazing. It wasn't until junior year. It was junior year where I finally, privacy for my household was very, it was very like, I am a child. I have no power. Yeah. My feelings weren't valid. Mm-hmm. No shade at my parents. They were doing the best that they could with what they were given.
Right.
However, it did get into very blurred lines of, emotional and, sometimes physical, abuse. It is what it is, I can't keep hating. I can't hate somebody who wasn't equipped with what they were needed to be equipped with,
And that's a huge realization to have, and it doesn't make it better, but to know like they probably were doing the best they could or the best they could at that time.
Yeah.
And they can maybe do better now. But knowing that, it probably didn't have as much to do with you as you think, and especially as a kid. You think it's all your fault.
And still, there's triggers and stuff every day. You when you grew up in such kind of like a somewhat volatile household, where you have to feel like you have to tiptoe on eggshells, and then if you do even express a little bit of emotion, it gets thrown back in your face, kind of like it was low-key gaslight,
right?
Gaslighting.
You're good. We're not in a rush. We're good.
No, we're not in a rush. Okay,
we're good. We have all the time
let me just sip some of this tea right here. Brought to you by... I'm kidding.
Oh, to have ads. Ready? You take a breath. I'll do this. Ready? We'll do a first one on mic.
A little bumpy.
These are not
Wait,
bumpy
I
bumps.
said bumpy.
This is a little tokey toke.
That is not cocaine. That is literally weed.
Yeah, you don't usually light a lighter when you're doing cocaine, from what I understand.
You definitely do not.
Thank you. With a straw, but not a... We're back to the ASMR. I'm taking a toke, and he's taking a puff on his stupid...
It's not
nicotine.
stupid. I have literally been... I was like, oh my God, I know it's there. I spent the night at Siobhan's house, and I passed out, and I lost my vape, and like... I was like, oh my God, I need my vape.
And I did not look for it even once.
That's okay though.
This week has been I've worked a ton of extra gigs this week, and it's been raining, and I've been in pain, and I've just been like, fuck it.
You got to do some self-care though, babes.
I know. Well, I went to the banya the other night for like 3 hours, and I went hard. All the old Russian guys were talking about me because I was in the sauna for so long. And I just kept I didn't take a break. I just kept hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. And they were like, she is Russian.
Plot twist.
Yeah.
You're Irish.
Yeah. Technically, I think I'm more Canadian than Irish.
Hey.
Because one of my grandmothers is like from Canada.
Period.
So in senior year,
I came out to my... Ooh, no, it was actually the end of junior year.
Oh.
My father took me out on a bike ride, and I was like, oh shit, hell yeah, I can get out of homework. Meanwhile, my mother was going through my bedroom.
Oh.
And she found some gay paraphernalia. You know, like I literally was such a nerd. Like I bought a book of gay erotica because I was just trying to find out, like, I was like, I need to discover who I am and why I'm feeling this way. And I knew that I liked boys, but I was like, I had no idea of what the gay community was like because I wasn't exposed to it. I was very sheltered. And so, you know, I bought erotica, whatever, fuck it,
Good.
party. It was also kind of teaching me about like my sexuality, like what I liked, you know, some stories were like absolutely disgusting. Mm-hmm. Some were like, oh, that actually seems like something that's interesting. Yeah. But nevertheless, they found it. We had one of the multiple sit downs and conversations about, why am I looking at this stuff? Why am I doing this stuff? Like, why are you doing this? Blah, blah, blah. And finally, I had a fucking enough. And I was like, you know what? I don't regret saying it. I was like, I'm a faggot. Mm. Is that what you wanted to hear? And then it kind of got turned back on me, as per usual. Kind of like the whole, well, that's what you think you want us to hear. And I'm like, well, I mean, in my head, I was like, well, I mean, honestly, given the behaviors,
right?
Yeah, it is what you wanted to hear. So instead of
you wanted me to say it out loud,
you wanted me,
I am.
Exactly. So instead of like being like, okay, well, our son is gay, and we're gonna work through that. And like, I wish my coming out story was a lot better. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So we moved on. And then in senior year, I was actually able to live my full authentic self, which was fantastic. You know, college, even better.
Did things get better with your parents? Did they become more comfortable with it?
No.
Are they more comfortable with it now?
They don't have a choice.
Good.
You want me in your life? You accept me as I am. Otherwise, I have no problems. I have my drag family, and they make me feel more at home than when I spend it with family, to be quite frank.
Yeah.
And that's no shade at my family. It's just everyone in my family knows that I'm gay. They know that I'm a drag queen. They know that, you know, I am definitely, I have boundaries. I stick up for myself, and I have no problem saying it. And so,
can you teach me how to do that? And I'm not really joking. Like, you are, because I love that. And I like, I see that in you, and it's one of the things that I love about you is like you're just like, okay, then that's fine. You don't like me, and I can do that most part, but with my family it can be difficult. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I just don't share a lot anymore because it's just the opinions, their opinions that they think are facts, or like the way I should be. It's too much. Like I don't. I can't take it. It makes me feel like a piece of shit sometimes.
Yeah. No,
and I hate that.
absolutely.
And it's no shade to them, like you're saying, but like also it's been this long. I've been saying stuff like, oh, that makes me feel like, or that hurts my feelings. And it's like, oh, you're too sensitive. Okay, but I am. So can you either accept it and not tell me to change, or like, that's fine. Just don't talk to me anymore.
Exactly. So like kind of how my family operates is they're like, family is the only thing that matters. Family is number one. Yeah. We always stick up for each other. We always love each other no matter what. I was the only colored person in my family for the longest time until my mom met my stepdad when I was like 2. And then like they took a break when I was like 6, and then they were like together. But it's my mom, my dad, and I as the only black people in the family. I'm mixed, obviously, but like it was always kind of it was very weird because it was kind of like, I know that we're family. I think I realized this as I started to get older and started to recognize like what's kind of going on in the world, like of like, oh, I actually am different. And it's like my family loves me I want to say unconditionally, but I don't know. Like that's actually a very tricky,
you know,
it gets very murky. But all I know is like there's family functions sometimes make me very uncomfortable. And so like there's times where a member, if it's like a summer event or something, and they're like, oh my God, I used to get just as dark as you. And when I was a little kid, and my mother used to call me her little pickaninny. Like, I'm like, thank you for telling me. I love that journey for you. I'm gonna go. And like,
it's like the worst way to try to connect to someone.
Like, don't tell me that like your mother basically called you a slave.
Right.
Like, not cute. They try, but for me, it's the whole ignorance thing. They're willfully ignorant. You know, it's older generation mostly. And they're uncomfortable with who I am and what I do, and it is what it is, because I'm not changing for a goddamn person, period. I've had to fight to get to where I am right now. Mm-hmm. I had to fight for my self-acceptance. So I'm not changing for a goddamn soul. So let's get that right there.
I love that. I love that. And I love that vibe. And I love that.
It's recording, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I looked at it like 17 times. Now I'm going to double check it even a third time. Yeah, we're good. No, but I love that whole vibe too. And sometimes I think, as much as I fought for so much, like I still don't have that comfort that you have or seem to have. And I wonder, like, how do I get that? Like, and how do I get like that all the time? Because I have it in spurts, and I have it like in some areas, like when I'm behind the bar, I'm always like, how do I show up as the version of me behind the bar on the other side? Like, it's like without that 3 feet of wood, I am like too anxious that someone can get at me. I don't even know where it comes from, mm-hmm. but it's like, because that version of me behind the bar feels like mostly my most authentic self. Mm-hmm. I'm just cool and calm, and like, let's have jokes and let's bust each other's balls and let's have like intelligent conversations down here and, you know, emotional ones over there. And I love that. But it's also like how I do that on the other side is like, I
think the way that I'm able to handle that is sometimes by, I don't want to say masking, but like I mean, yeah. I especially in Sacramento, like when I was living with my roommate, God love her, she was the best. I would wear makeup literally every day. I would not leave the house without like a face on. And that was my way of masking and hiding my, I think, the deeply ingrained shame that I had inside of me.
Right.
And the, not only that, but the emotional trauma and the trauma. And so if for me, I was like, I'd rather be a bitch that people were scared of than to, and like they stayed away from me than like actually like deal with it, because I was so like, I wanted connection, but I was also like, I know you're going to hurt me because I had been hurt so many different times. You know what I mean?
I do.
And so like, God, a lot of my exes hurt me, emotionally, mentally. And so for me, I was just like, I'm just going to be a monster. I'd rather be a monster and be scary. And then I went to a life skills class where we had to do so many exercises and so many things that like, before that I was so deep down in my pit of despair. I definitely turned to drugs. I definitely was like, let me just, if I can like just remove myself from all of the stuff that's going on inside of my brain, that is so much better than dealing in this reality. Like,
you go for it. Did you get into the drugs in college?
So actually I had quit college. It wasn't for me. I would say I quit college after my live-in ex was like, he was a cheater. He was like, let's be open. And then when I was like, I don't want to be open anymore, he was like, okay, well then let's go back to dating, which is basically like, I want to break up with you, but like, I don't know how to say it. And we're living together. Luckily I was living there at his house. I was just staying there. But I also had my other spot with my roommate. So I just packed up my shit. That was the most gut-wrenching feeling I had ever felt in my life. I had actually confessed to him that I was an addict. And I would say like earlier in a relationship, he actually started going with me to meetings and stuff like that. He was my moral support. And then one day I felt like I was good, and then with healing from addiction, you tend to not feel intimate, or you're just like, I want to be left alone. You're going through depression. Your brain is trying to rewire itself. Yep. And so it just was a combination of things, and it didn't work out. It's okay.
Yeah.
But where was I?
When you were recovering from your addiction, you'd broken up with him, you just dropped out of college.
I luckily was working at, I had my job at the state, my student assistant job. Once I dropped out of school, you can't be a student assistant anymore. Right. And so I got a job at the local gay bar. And that was great. It was great until it wasn't. I was definitely, after the breakup, I definitely started doing drugs again. But I also discovered drag. And drag, I will honestly say, has saved my life. Mm-hmm. We had an employee drag show. And so like the head drag, or the major drag queens, they would do your face. And like, I literally went to Goodwill because I was a skinny bitch. And like, I went to Goodwill. I found all of the dresses that I wanted. And I even bought a wig, and I went to Torrid and I bought heels. And I was like, getting put in drag, I looked in the mirror after I put my wig on and stuff like that. And I said, oh my God, I'm beautiful. Mm. I am beautiful. And so it kind of shifted this perspective of, if you put some makeup on, if you do this, if you do that, you can be Anya. That was kind of like my little internal voice. Like, yep. And for me, Anya, still to this day, is more confident, is stronger than I am right now. You know what I mean? I don't think that that's a bad thing. I think it's a duality thing.
She is a fierce, fierce bitch. Who looks fabulous all the time.
Thank you. So yeah, I left the bar, because they didn't want me, very evidently. There was some drama, over, I used purple eyeshadow mixed with glycerin and then red glitter, using coppers and golds and stuff like that, because the category was space, and I did the aria of Plava Glani. Anyway, the Fifth Element bitch.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
And then a woman accused me of doing blackface, and then even though...
Can you do blackface when you're already black? I mean, you're more brownish, olive-y skin, but...
I'm mixed, but however, like, it's for me, it was a... Yes, how can a black person already do black? For me, that was just like, am I being rejected by the black community because I'm not black enough? You know what I mean? So for me, it was kind of like it was a big reset. It was a big, that was my tower moment. That was my first tower moment, excuse me. And so for me, basically I was like, what the fuck? And then had I not turned in my letter of resignation, I would have been fired. It was going to happen that same day. It was a lot. Very like, I lost my community. I wasn't allowed to perform at the bars again. So for me, it was kind of like well, what the fuck do I do now?
Right.
And so, I had a job at a call center, but I was also very heavily reliant on drugs yet again.
Before we get into that, because I want to get back to that, but
Yeah.
just in case someone doesn't understand what a tower moment is, because I think a lot of people won't.
Yeah.
That's a reference.
So when I say the tower moment, it's based off of the tarot cards. The tower is one of the major arcana, and it represents basically kind of a major shift, a major change that is going to happen whether you want it to or not. And it's basically going to tear down your foundation so you can rebuild yourself back up. So in a way, while it is a scary card, it's also a really good card to be like, okay, well, guess what? There's a major shift happening. And I do know that while it's going to be a little tough, I'm going to grow from it. And I'm going to come back even stronger. And my tower will be fortified even harder. So that's what I mean by a tower moment. So
Thank you for that.
Absolutely.
Maybe we'll have you come back and once we get to know you a little and have you give us a tarot lesson.
Oh no, you don't want me to do that.
Okay, well then we'll have someone else do
Girl,
it.
I don't do tarot. I shuffle the cards acting like I know what I'm doing, and then I shuffle them and I'm like, oh, look at the pretty pictures. And then if I see the tarot, I'm like, oh.
All right, maybe Marie can cover that when she comes on.
Marie would be great.
I saw her reading someone's the other day and I was like, wait, pick me.
Do me.
She just looked at me and was like, bitch, I'm drinking. I'm like, I know. Sorry, I'll leave you alone.
Oh, it's always good to catch Mariana when she has her cards with her and she's at the bar and she's like, all right, what do you want? What's it going to be?
I haven't seen her like that in a minute, too.
She's doing good.
She is.
And I'm very proud of her.
I know, she's amazing.
I'm so proud of her.
I'm excited to have her come on and talk to us.
I'm excited for you, too.
Yeah. Because she is a wealth of knowledge and stories and strength. And
she's a bad bitch, period. She is literally.
When I first met her, I talked about this the other day to someone too. Like when I first met her and Sandy and Pia and all of them, I was like so intimidated, but by her a lot. Like when I first started coming into the shop, this is a little side story with how I first met you, Trey.
Yeah,
is Trey works at the witchy occult shop in town, and every time I would get paid, I would go by to buy something for my altar. So like once a week or for a little bit, I was getting paid once a month. So I'd go in and buy a little new something and we would chat and talk. And every time I'd be in there with Marie, I'd be like, hi. And I just wouldn't even say anything because I was so like, I wonder what she thinks of me.
She's very, if you don't know her, she is very intimidating. She exudes just this energy that is so like, I'm like, do I genuflect? Do I bow? Or genuflecting and bowing is the same, but I'm like, do I like curtsy? Like,
Right.
how can I? Oh my God.
Yeah. And I could kind of feel her energy. And now that I've known her, she's like, well, I could feel you have a bunch of energy. And I was like, I don't know what to do with that. Like,
Yeah. She is one of the, amongst other people, one of the best people I have ever met after moving down here.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I'm so lucky that I found this little spot. And like, I don't know how the universe works in mysterious ways. But she brought me here, and then she brought me all of you, and it's just been so amazing and nice. And
Life literally wouldn't be the same without you, babes.
I love you.
I love you.
Okay, now let's get back to your drug use.
Okay. Yay, drugs.
Yay, addiction.
I ended up, I got fired from my last job.
Okay.
I was, so while I was working at that call center, I met a man named,
Juan Pablo.
I'm going to call him Chris. I'm going to call him his name.
Okay.
His name was Chris. Because I'm not scared of him.
Oh, no.
He doesn't
Not
have any
scared of
power
anyone.
over me anymore. I don't give a fuck. He was a radio DJ up in Sacramento. And we met and we went on a date. And it was very much like, it was cute. I had makeup on. I was like, you know, I had to let Anya out. I had to put my makeup on because that was my mask because I was very nervous. Said I was very beautiful, all of these things. And as the relationship progressed, I want to say it was probably within 2 weeks of dating. And actually, if I have the records at my house.
I'm sure you do.
I have the records at my house. He said, I'm falling. Love bomb.
Yeah.
Strike number. Like, I was so young and naive, though. I was like, oh my God, he actually likes me. Oh my God. However, at that moment, I was still wearing my rose-colored lenses. So everything just looked like flags, and I didn't know. And so there was a lot of love bombing, a lot of like codependency, a lot of him requiring me to talk to him all day, keeping tabs on me, sharing my location with him, all of this stuff. And then one day I had a doctor's appointment, and
Sorry.
you good? Damn. You popped a witty.
I'm getting so mad at this guy. No.
I had a doctor's appointment. I went home. My roommate was home and she was like, let's go to the fucking Dollar Tree. And I was like, fuck yes, bitch. And so I put on some face because that's what I did. And I sent a picture. I'm like, I'm going to Dollar Tree with my roommate. And then it became a huge issue. Like, why are you wearing makeup? You look so much prettier without it.
I hate that fucking line.
Why do you feel like you need to go all gussied up to the fucking Dollar Tree? Blah, blah, blah. We were getting decorations because we were literally having a dinner party. And so during that dinner party, phone was blowing up, all of this stuff. Like, call me. I want to resolve this. Please call me. Me telling him I'm actually having a dinner party right now. I literally cannot talk to you. I don't want to talk to you until afterwards. Ruined the party, basically, because I didn't know how to handle that. That was so wild. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Basically resolved it, and I say that in quotes. And then because I didn't know any better, and I was just like, we just had our first argument. Oh my God, I love him. Not like love. Anyway,
No.
It progresses. We go to Disneyland, do all the things. I just got the notification on my phone today that it was 5 years ago today that we went to Disneyland. I was like, wow, thanks, guys. Fucking Facebook.
My mother did that to me. It wasn't 5 years, but like on my last anniversary, like what would have been my wedding anniversary, she called and I worked so much. I did not pay attention to what day it was. And she was like, I was like, what's up? And she's like, oh, I just wanted to call and see how you were. I'm like, what? Why are we whispering? Like, I'm like, what's up? Like, what's the matter? And she's like, well, you know what day it is. And I was like, it's a Tuesday. I don't even, like, I was just like, what? And she was like, well, you know what today would have been. And I was like, I don't. Like, I really had no.
Obviously, I'm fine.
She was like, I just wanted to make sure you're okay because, you know, it would have been your whatever anniversary. And I was like, oh.
Well,
yeah,
thanks.
no, hadn't crossed my mind.
No, didn't bother me.
No, like I actually have to wait and think about like I don't off the top of my like I know what month it was in, but like which day it was it like this one or that one, I actually have to think about. But she wanted to call me. I was like,
I hate that.
like, if I needed to talk about it, I would call you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to talk about
I'm
it.
literally fine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm so much happier now than I ever thought I would be again. It's good. All right. So you're in Disney World 5 years ago today.
We're in Disneyland, all this shit, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It ends because I met his sister that evening. I met his, not that evening in Disneyland, but like weeks afterwards. Soon after, I meet his sister, all this stuff. And then he starts making jokes at my expense. And so when we're walking back to the car, I'm like, hey, so these jokes really didn't make me feel good. I was already struggling with heavy depression. And so like, I was like, hey, these jokes don't make me feel good. I was very nervous telling him, you should never have to be nervous telling your partner how something makes you feel. First and foremost. So everybody listening, do not let your partner make you feel like your feelings don't fucking matter, because they fucking do. And if they continue to do that, time to go. Period.
Amen.
Period.
And
so he got angry and he was like, I was like, I'm sorry. Because that's what you do when you're in emotionally abusive relationships. You realize what you did was wrong. And so you apologize. And because you don't want to feel the wrath. And I know you know. And so
that just gave me a full body chill roll.
Yeah. And he was like, don't talk to me because I'm going to blow up on you. And I was like, at that point, I was like, I just want to fucking go home. And once we got in the car, I cried. And we were in Oakland and we had to drive all the way back up to Sacramento. And I just cried the whole way because I was so like, how did my life get to this point? How did I get here? How? And then I started thinking about all of the things that happened when I grew up, all of the men that I had dated before him. And it just made me even more sad because I was like, I made this my reality. Yeah. I made this my reality. I created this because I didn't have self-worth. I didn't value myself enough. So I dated bottom of the shelf men. I dated clearance rack men. And I was devastated. And so then I started, when I got home the morning after, I woke up and I was like listening to some podcasts and I started recognizing, because they talked a lot about narcissistic abuse and stuff like that. And I was going through the check marks and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Holy shit. I'm literally experiencing all of this shit right now. And so I broke up with him. But he still had hooks, because when you're in a narcissistic relationship, even if you break up with somebody, they're going to have their hooks inside of you. Yeah. And they're going to still be in your life. And so the hooks stayed until, I would say, until the next year. And then things got worse, whatever. It worked out and it ended up me being free and I was done. I had lost my job. I was still doing drugs a lot. And so I needed a change. And so I came down to the Bay.
Very nice.
My drag career in Sacramento was ruined. I had no job. I was behind on rent. I had no prospects. I was lonely. I was isolated. I moved to the Bay 5 years ago.
It sounds like a terrible place to be. And I'm so happy that you made that decision to like take yourself not only emotionally out of it, but physically away from that stuff and start new. That's a huge gift that you gave yourself.
Thank you. It was surprisingly my mother who was like, maybe you should move to the Bay Area. And so I did. And thank you for acknowledging that. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I moved to the Bay. It was rocky at first, trying to navigate the drug shit and jobs and all of that stuff. Where have I worked since I've been down here? Ulta, literally for 2 weeks, because the Ulta in San Leandro was just filled with catty bitches.
I sometimes don't even like to shop at those places because I don't want to deal with the girls that work there.
It was literally like, their behavior was horrific. They just straight up like mean girled the shit out of me.
Girls are just so mean. Like, I don't understand that meanness. As a female, I've dealt with my whole life. And like high school, all girls, like that is just like, it's not any place I ever want to be.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Like, how are you going to pick somebody and then just like, obviously, they're kind of like going through some shit, and then you just like openly talk shit about them while they're on the floor and they can hear you and all of that. It's just, it screams unprofessional.
Yeah.
And it's tragic. Honestly, so tragic. I've worked at a gas station. I've worked at a sex shop.
Ooh.
That was interesting.
Is it a sex shop that had like the booths in the back?
Yes. And child. And I worked the night shift.
Oh my God, you must have so many good stories.
I do.
I want to know them all.
Oh, I'll tell you. Working the night shift though by myself.
Oh, that's scary.
Was scary because you had the gentlemen and then their employees, their working women.
Oh yes.
Going into the booth, and you're by yourself. I was by myself. I was literally like 150 pounds. Like, what the fuck am I gonna do by the time being like nobody in the stalls? So I'm just like, I'm gonna just let y'all do you, and I'm just gonna be by myself. I'm just gonna be like reading my book. I'm gonna do all this shit. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna go stock these dildos over here.
Yeah, I'm like, let me just not pay attention. But the store was so fun. Like on a Friday night when I had my coworkers with me, like we were just like, yes. I worked at Banana Republic, and Banana Republic was my last job until we circle back full circle.
It always comes in a circle.
And finally, I started working at the Feather Dollar.
You've been there now, what, 3 years?
2.5. I would say it's about 2.5 years. Yeah.
So I must have met you right after you started there.
Mm-hmm. Because we've known each other for about 2 years now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy to me that it's been that long in some ways, and then it feels like I've been here forever in others.
Honestly, same. Like, it doesn't feel like 2 years. It feels like I've just been there.
Yeah.
It feels like I've been involved in Alameda for more than 5 years, even though it was just literally 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's such a blessing. Such a blessing that I have you, I have Sandy, I have Marie, I have Karen, our Reiki healer. I'm
going to have her on too.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Yes.
Yes.
I can make a perfect impersonation of her. Do you want to hear it?
Yes. And then we'll double back when she's on.
Okay. Yeah. It's just
We'll play it for her.
All right. So Reiki is energetic healing. And what it does is it heals the body from the inside out. And it just it's just so amazing. I could talk about this for hours. And Siobhan, when's the last time you got some Reiki? Mm-hmm. And scene. She got so mad when I started doing her.
I love her so much. I don't see her nearly enough. I had a full Reiki session with her, and it was amazing, except she puts music on, it's almost like, for anyone that hasn't had it, it's very much like if you've ever had a massage. That's kind of the same vibe, except you keep your clothes on. Mm-hmm. If someone's doing just Reiki and they ask you to take your clothes off, please go see a different practitioner. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So
they usually don't touch you unless it's your shoulders or your head.
Yeah.
It's because it's energetic.
Occasionally your feet.
Yeah.
When they're trying to ground you out, maybe, but so you never have to take your clothes off with just Reiki. So let's just, be clear on that. But so I had a full session with her. She put the music on, and I get on the table. She comes over and she's like, okay, well, and the music cut off.
Oh.
And buffered the entire session.
No.
And I always want music because I loop part of my pain into it so I can be distracted. And I was just, she was like, it's so weird that the music shut off. And I was like, no, that was just the energies wanting me to be fully focused. And she's like, what? And I was like, I always, and explained to her how I use music, and she was like, oh, and she said as soon as I walked out the door, the music started.
You got big energy though, girl. That's that. You
yeah.
got big energy.
I know. I just haven't figured out how to feel comfortable in it yet, or how to wield it. Because I've always been told it's not good to, you know, when I first started with my witchy books and my altar, like my mother was going to send me to a therapist. Her friends were coming to me like, she's worried about you. I'm like, well, it's just some rocks. Like,
it was like they were trying to suppress you.
Yeah, and going to Catholic school, like that was not ever something that you were allowed to talk about
Absolutely
or do
not.
or anything. And then part of it scared me too, because I could pick up on things and I knew things before they would, like slightly things that would happen, or I can almost always finish someone's sentence because I already know where we're going. Like, and some of that is all that intuition stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't.
Embrace it.
I'm trying to learn.
Embrace it all.
Yeah, when I saw like Melissa yesterday at the menagerie event down in the Winchester Mystery House.
Ooh, spooky.
It was really cool outside. I didn't get to go on the tour, but I will next time.
Aside from it being like hella rainy.
It was so miserable. My feet, I didn't know we were going to be outside. Yeah, I didn't know we were going to be outside. And so I did not dress for the weather. I had no, I had like tennis sneakers on and like just a hoodie. I had no rain gear on whatsoever and spent 8.5 hours out in the rain and the cold. And it was miserable.
So you went to the Winchester. You had a great time. It was so much fun.
I spent way more money than I made. But Melissa was there, and she was selling some of her new products, and her stuff is really great. She gave me some samples of eye cream and stuff, and I love it. And I've swapped out my other stuff. Can you see how non-wrinkly I am?
You look furious.
But I really like her products, and so I was sitting there while she was selling and watching her, and like she just kept talking to these people, and she just knew everything they needed to know right away, and she has no problem. And like some guy was looking at her like she was like, hey, I'm just a hippie, I'm not a good business person, and I was just like, I love that about her, like, and I love she's so. Same with like Marie and you, like you're just so comfortable in it, and you are like, okay, it's fine if you don't think it's whatever, keep walking, and I just think that's like. I admire it so much.
Well, thank you. Honestly, Marie helped me. I already said that.
Yeah.
I said that earlier. Yeah, she helped me. And I also think that joining my drag family and joining, doing drag more often, that also helps too. With not just like the energy reading, but like recognizing, reading a room, reading a person. Figuring out, oh, you like that, or oh, you don't like that, and you know, just kind of like, and I don't want to say that that's like a trauma thing because it is a trauma thing. Reading the room, seeing like watching people's emotions, but I want to say that that is a, that's an energy thing. You're picking up on the people's energy, and you're able to tap into your own intuition and figure out. Okay, you need that. Yeah.
And I can do that. Like, again, I use that superpower, I'll call it, for like being behind the bar, but being on, and maybe that's what one of the reasons why I'm so much better at it behind the bar is I have an actual buffer. Like I haven't figured out how to get my, you know, my like bubble around of energy around myself to protect, like the bar I think maybe acts as that for me, where if I can get that kind of vibe on the other side, I'd probably be a bit better, because I can sometimes when there's, I don't know how to sometimes not let someone's energy in.
If you had to choose a color of what your auric bubble for protection would be, what would it be?
Oh, I think I always picture a white one.
A white one?
Yeah.
Would it be opaque or would it be transparent?
Transparent.
Transparent?
Yeah. Maybe a little like sparkly. Like a little stardusty.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
I love it.
But it's all, yeah, it's never been a color for me. It's always been like a, and now that I'm thinking about it, I think it's always been like kind of see-through. That way it doesn't turn anybody off.
Huh. That's smart. I didn't even think about it that way.
I was just trying to think of why I have never thought about a color. And I think a color to me feels like a barrier where like if it's just a little stardusty, like
then Yeah.
And it's like, oh,
You can
maybe
still-
like that's like, oh, what is that? Or rather than like, oh, what is that? Or
I appreciate that.
what
you
color is yours?
Depends on my mood.
Ooh, you're like a mood ring.
I am like a mood ring. If I literally want to keep people away from me, I envision a kind of like an obsidian bubble around me that has spikes outward
Oh,
that keeps people very far away from me. Otherwise, I try to keep it very like, my favorite stone is opal, so kind of like an opalescent, like, you know, like where it's transparent, kind of like you, but like an opalescent like color.
yeah, like
you know.
slight little rainbow tint to it or
Yes,
something.
like with shimmer and stuff like that.
That's awesome. That's beautiful. I like your idea of the protection one too, though. Like, I wonder if I kind of do that, but in a way, like, I know I make myself smaller on days that I don't want to talk to people.
Yeah.
And like, I don't even know if I envision it as much as like I can physically, now that I started to pay more attention to it, I can feel myself kind of try to physically and energetically make myself smaller.
I do that too, so I completely understand. That's usually when
That
the obsidian one comes out, and I'm just like, absolutely not. I just don't want to be here, or like I don't want to be around you. And then like, unfortunately, people like, I know I think I've done it to Marie a couple times, and like I know that she's been like, she literally just like, all right, I'm gonna head out, bye.
yeah.
Sorry, Marie. But like, I don't really use that one that much. I only use it when I think, for me, when I feel shameful because I've done something wrong. You know.
Usually, sometimes with me, it's just like I know I don't have the bandwidth to be like the best version of myself. So if I can just go and no one notices me, then I can go get the stuff done I need to do without like interacting too much. And,
Causing
like,
too many waves.
Yeah, and I can just kind of like skate by. Like, oh, don't look at me. Oh, look, you didn't even, I didn't notice I was there. Like, no need to like pay any attention. Which I think used to be easier when I was really fat than it is now.
How so?
People don't see fat people. Like, they don't want to look at them, so they just don't. I think. Like,
Okay.
I definitely get treated differently now, like 100 pounds lighter, than I did then. And now, like, I have to work to make myself smaller in some ways.
I understand that.
Like, yeah. And it's a really shitty thing, but it's, I think, really true.
Okay.
And I think I was hiding with that weight. And it was easier to hide.
Do you think you're using that as a mask?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I do now. I didn't then. I do now. I do think I let myself, I think I started gaining a little weight because of everything. And then I was just like, oh, and I noticed the difference in the way I was treated. And I was like, oh, if I just am a little heavier, they pay less attention to me anyways.
You shouldn't have to live. I'm glad you don't live like that anymore.
Me too. And it's a really fucked up thing to kind of come to terms with and realize like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, no, I did do some of that to myself.
Because it's not easy. That's the
No.
self-realization shit. That's like
Yeah.
the whole like, that's the shadow work.
Yeah.
That is shadow work.
And it sucks.
Yeah.
Because it's like you were saying, like when you got to that point in your life where you're like, how did I get here? And then you're like, oh, it's because of the tiny choices I've made along the way.
Exactly.
It's a tiny thing. And like when you realize that, it's like, ugh. And it's like such a shitty feeling because you're like, oh, I chose this almost. Even if it's like subconsciously, like, you know, it's like the letting the small things just go and go and go until they turn big things. And then it's like, oh, fuck.
And now I'm here.
And now I'm here. And like now you're like, okay, now how do I get over there? And getting from here to there that's the part I think that like is the hardest.
It's very hard.
It's way harder than letting yourself getting sucked into those situations. Like people think like, well, how would you ever let yourself? People end up in those situations all the time because it's the tiny choices.
Yeah. It's the tiny choices. It's also not only the tiny choices, but I also feel like it's also the way that the people or situations pull you in and how they pull you in is like an anglerfish. You know, they have the light at the end of their at their head, and you don't see their huge mouth ready to like literally just like annihilate you.
Yeah.
It's you know, like it's very hard because you're like, I feel like for us, like we like to see the good in people.
Yeah.
We see the good in people because everybody is good to a point.
Yeah.
To a point. And so it's very like, it's difficult because I'm too trusting. I can't speak for you.
I'm not too trusting, but I see someone's potential, and that kind of will blind me. I probably am a little too trusting. Yeah, I'm not.
I mean,
I'm always skeptical of people.
I used to be too trusting. Now I just don't trust anybody.
Yeah. I don't trust a whole lot of people. I mean, point to fact, we've been friends and like good friends for 2 years, and now I'm just finally like, oh yeah, you can stay. Like, you've stayed here, you've had a key, you've stayed here multiple times, but now I'm like, oh, but I'm going to be out of town, so it's different.
But you know, I appreciate that though, because I respect you and your boundary in doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like boundaries are very, very important. Boundaries.
And I have no idea how to use those.
Girl.
I've only learned in the last 5 years.
Girl.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to boundaries.
Because my family doesn't have any.
Mm-hmm.
Never has.
I literally learned boundaries from Marie. She
she is very good about her boundaries.
She's very good about boundaries. And I kind of learned that from her. And then I started exercising that and using those practices. And then I was like, bitch, no. You know, like, total, like, yeah. Like,
total
literally.
badassery.
Total badassery.
Yeah. Yeah, I've gotten better at them. And some of it is I'm also just so easygoing. Like, a lot of times I'm like, oh, sure, whatever. Like, because I took Shonda Rhimes' book way too serious of saying yes to everything. No. I mean, but also, yes. But I'm always like, life's too short not to do things. So, like, and I missed so much with those years on my couch after I got hurt and everything. And so, like, now I'm like, I don't want to miss things. Like, and if I'm up and someone invites me to hang out, like, sure, let's hang out, because, like, I may never get that time again.
Mm-hmm. Is it the FOMO?
It's not even FOMO. It's like, part of it is FOMO. Mm-hmm. But part of it is also, like, if I enjoy someone and they're like, hey, let's hang out, like, of course I want to hang out with them. I enjoy them. That's one of the reasons why they're my friend. Mm-hmm. So, like, I don't want to say no. Like, I want to go and do the things because I'm like, that's more time and building more. And yeah, and some of it is I'm still trying to figure out how to rebuild a community and how to be more than surface with someone, because that scares the ever living shit out of me.
Honestly, yes. Keep your circle small. That is my advice. If you keep your circle small, you can actually open up, because your circle is small enough to where the people who you talk to and you trust, they actually know who you are at your core.
Right. And
they won't judge you because they actually love you unconditionally. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But when you don't feel like you've probably ever really had it, like,
it's
how
hard.
do you even...
It's a hard pattern to break.
Yeah. And it's like, does it even exist?
It does. It does.
I'm hopeful. No, I in some ways I do know that. Like, I do have some friends that I've had since kindergarten. You know, and we don't see each other all the time, but like when we sit down, it's like we pick right back up. We all have a general idea of what's going on in each other's lives, and when something hits the fan in one of our lives, you pick up the phone, like, that's your first.
That's your first.
Those
go-to.
are your first people that you go to.
Yeah,
because they don't need a backstory. They know. You know, in some cases, they know those players, you know, they've known my family for years. So, like, a lot of it is like a shorthand that you get to have. And I think those relationships are invaluable, but we also don't live the same lives. So
what happens I feel like because I feel like you have your favorites, you have your core here, And so now it's all about going out, doing things, getting to know them. And not even like going to the bar. It's like going to a museum or going for wink, wink walks on the beach at like 2 a.m. when you're shrooming. And
who does that? We need to do that.
Mushrooms.
I know. We need the weather to be nice again so we can do that. It's not fun in the cold.
That was so fun.
Or we should maybe just take a road trip to LA or something. Or the desert.
Oh, the desert would be so fun.
It would be.
Oh my God.
Maybe we should do a mushroom weekend.
We're going to Joshua Tree?
I've never been there.
I've never been either.
I hear it's beautiful and super fun to be trippy at.
I've heard. I'm like, desert. I immediately get thirsty when I think about a dessert.
What kind of thirst are you talking about?
Hey, that's for me to know and you not to find out. Hey.
Well, I want to hear it afterwards.
That'll be so fun. I think,
it's just building.
Yeah,
You're right, though.
It's literally all about building and just slow. It's kind of like, I'm not equating anybody to a puppy, but I'm like to like an abused dog. You have to gain their trust slowly but surely, and that requires every day. That requires, if you see them, like being like acknowledgement. And slow, it's a slow build thing. You have to slowly let it build. And that doesn't mean you negate your boundaries or negate your sense of protection that you need to have for yourself, which I think is boundaries. It's literally boundaries.
But yes and no, though. I think someone can like be protective and have no boundaries, or they can have hard boundaries, but like not protect their anything. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, semantics, though, I guess.
If you get a vibe, no. If you get a good vibe, or a bad vibe, no. If you get a good vibe, see what happens.
Yeah.
Getting hurt is also part of the human experience. But it's also kind of like, which I'm still learning, after getting hurt, what was the lesson from that? How do I learn the lesson after getting hurt? And how do I grow from that without making sure that I don't do it to anybody else or it doesn't happen to me again?
Right.
That's the biggest thing. And that's very, very hard to learn.
Yeah.
Like.
And part of me is like, if I always am expecting to be hurt, then why not just put it all out there? Because if I'm going to be hurt anyways, why not be hurt being like the most truest version I can be?
You should always be your most authentic self.
But it's scary still because like you, I had so many like part of me is at some points I'm like, well, do I even really know who I am? And I don't mean that to be like, I mean like the little things sometimes because it was too scary. Like I went to Catholic school who they told me how I was supposed to be in order to do this and that. Mm-hmm. Like 12 years of that. And then it was like, I didn't want to go to college, but my parents like, no, you have to because of this and that. And like, it was always like living by someone else's rules. And then even with my ex-husband, it was like, I would say things and he'd be like, no, that's not it though anymore. Yeah. Like, this is now what you think. Like, no, that's not what I think. And he'd be like, and then it would be a huge thing. So it was like, it wasn't ever safe to be my full self. Mm-hmm. So like, how do you, and I'm slowly learning and I'm better at it all the time. Like showing up and being unafraid to say what I think. Because so many times I will hold myself back out of just pure fear. Mm-hmm. And there's like nothing to be afraid of anymore because it's like I am a fully like independent person.
You're a bad bitch. You don't need no man, period.
Or don't like, and in some ways, like not even just for a man, but like even with my family, it's like sometimes like, because they can be brutal. And like, it's like, oh, that's stupid. Like they'll flat out tell you like that shit's stupid. And like, no, it's not stupid. That's exactly what, and then, but you don't, not wanting to have that kind of interaction anymore. So it's just easier not to say things.
Mm-hmm. I actually understand that. That actually, there came a point in time with both my mother and father to where I just fucking said, enough is a fucking enough. And so I didn't do that with my dad until this year. But I've done it with my mom several different times. Yeah. And to the point where, you know, the constant nagging, the constant non-accountability, the constant well, I did the best I could. Like the shrugging off of things that were done.
Right.
And or just a flat out like lack of empathy. And so like there were times like when I was in therapy and shit, like, you know, it would be just really like upsetting. And I finally was like, you know what? Fuck. I'm sorry. You know, there were times where I was just like, honestly, fuck you. Mm-hmm. You're not going to fucking talk to me like that. Yeah. I actually have a voice. I am my own fucking person. I don't give a fuck what you think anymore because 1, I am not a child. 2, you no longer have that power over me. And you need to start treating me with fucking respect. Because at the end of the fucking day, I am who I am because you were my origin. So why don't you fucking sit the fuck down? Period. I said that in more colorful words. But, and then I would ghost. I wouldn't ghost. I would boundary myself from them. I would cut them off. I would cut her off. And there's nothing wrong with cutting off family members. As much as we are told family matters, right. Family is the only thing you have for you. You know, at the end of the day, you can always rely on your family. No, some people literally cannot.
Right. And I think saying that, like, one, diminishes those people, and two, makes people feel like they have to stay in situations that do not serve them.
Exactly. And why are you going to stay in a situation that doesn't serve you and constantly makes you feel like shit?
Yeah.
For what? The sake of a fucking saying? Right. For the sake of... It's literally Encanto. The Disney movie Encanto. It's literally like you're over here trying to make a difference, trying to be better, and trying to break those generational bonds and trauma. And then you're constantly being told, why are you doing that?
Right.
Why are you ruining the family? Bitch, let me ruin this fucking family then.
Right. Maybe it needs to be ruined.
Exactly. Maybe it needs to be ruined. Like, at the end of the day, like, I love my family, but if I'm going to be the catalyst and I'm going to be the next, the hated one in this generation... Party.
Right.
Whatever. Buckle up, bitches, because it's about to get bumpy. Like, and I'm not about the drama for the family, in the family. You know, I live for the drama.
I live for the drama. I was like, bitch, please.
I live for the drama.
You love drama.
But also, like, I try to stay out of it. And, like, there comes a point in time, though, when you have to go, enough is enough, and I'm done. And I'm not going to let you treat me that way.
Yeah.
And so I feel like if you're having issues with your family, too, like, I don't want to be like, tell your mom and dad, like, fuck you, bitch. Yeah. But, like... Stand up for yourself.
Oh, yeah.
It's scary. It's very scary because you don't know how they're going to react. Because I feel like parents, they see us still as these little kids. You know what I mean?
I do.
But but like at the end of the day, we're grown ass adults. We're doing the best that we fucking can.
Yep.
We're living. We're not at home.
Nope.
And we're trying our hardest.
Yeah. And we're living as true to ourselves as we can.
Exactly.
Which is all you're supposed to be doing in life.
Right.
Is like you can't live for anyone else because eventually it's not sustainable. Like at some point you're going to lose your shit. You're going to get sick because you're not following what you should. Like all of that stuff. And
exactly.
Like I'm lucky enough with my parents that we've been through so much and they have been there. And my parents are godsend. My mother's fucking crazy. I love you, Mom, but you are. And she was a nightmare growing up. She was very unhappy. And so that came out on me a lot. And we, have worked through so much. And there are still times that she just drives me crazy. And now I know enough that, like, she can't help herself on some of those things.
Yeah.
So it's just my job to now let that roll off my back. But, like, I had one of my 19 aunts. We were out for lunch and stuff, and we're hanging out. And we were talking about something, and I made a snarky comment. It's what I do. I'm a sarcastic bitch.
Yes, you are.
And I try to be really fun and light about it. But sometimes when I don't think, it lands and it's harsh. And I get that, and I try my hardest. And she just kind of came at me. And I had been having a bad day. It was right when I was going through my divorce and losing all my friends. And like, what am I going to do? And how did my life get here? And we were talking about something. And she was like, you are always so mean to me and blah, blah, blah. Like, even when you were a kid. And I was like, now I'm getting yelled at for something that happened when I was like 12. And like, she went on this 6-minute rant about stuff that was like, and I looked at her and I was like, you just brought up something about when I was 12 years old. I'm like, I am in my 30s. I'm getting divorced. I just had surgery. Like, I'm like, I don't, and I was like, if you don't like me, like, I love you. But like, if I hurt your feelings that much, we should just not hang out. And then she launched into this whole, like, don't push me away. And I've seen you struggle. I used to watch you eat your feelings.
Wow.
I saw this. I saw that. When this was happening, I went to your father and I said this. And I was like, all right, you just told me all this stuff about how you saw me drowning and you never fucking came to me.
You didn't even fucking throw
I was like, no
a
life
lifesaver.
vest, no nothing. I
Yeah.
was like, you know what? I was like, I adore you, but I can't have someone in my life that will watch me suffer and not come to me.
But then
and
wants
try
to have
help.
Then wants to have all the fucking ammo to throw back at you.
Right. But then wants to be, when I'm in a bad place and I snap and I'm nasty, you want to come at me and throw all the stuff that I've done since I was a fucking kid. Like, you were the adult in that situation. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't care if you were only in your 20s. You were the adult and I was a kid. And now you want to hold that shit to me 20-something years later. I'm like, I don't have time for this. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to get my shit together. I'm like, and this is why I don't do this stuff anymore.
Right.
Like, this is why I stay away.
Yeah.
This is why I'm like, don't talk about me. Just, how is she? She's good. You don't need to know more than that about my fucking life. This is why. And I like got out of the car, and since that day, I have been like,
I'm Gucci.
yeah, arm's length with her.
I'm good, boo.
I'm like, arm's length. Mm-hmm. And the amount of times people have now come to me and say like, oh, well, we were struggling so bad back then. Anytime someone says that to me, I'm like, all you're trying to do is make yourself feel better.
I would have been like, okay, and?
Because I'm like, I don't know, what is your, what is my good response? Like, you saw me drowning. You saw me over medicate. Whatever point I was in, you saw it and you talked about me.
But you did nothing to fucking help.
But you didn't come to me. So you
Yeah.
just had all these, so you let everyone else know that I was a fucking mess and that you were concerned. I'm like, all that's doing is you being self-serving.
Right.
Look at how good of a person I am because I'm concerned. You didn't come to me. You didn't try to help me. Then you're not that fucking good of a person.
It makes you a shitty ass person.
And it makes me not want you to be involved in my life.
Exactly.
Like, if that makes me a bad person, then fuck it, I'm a bad person.
Exactly.
Like, I'll be the fucking devil in your story, but like, you will not be in mine because I need to know that if I start, I'm out of pocket, that person's going to come to me and be like, listen, boo, listen, love, hey, bitch, like, or like, you know, as my niece, you were, you know, anything. Mm-hmm. But for you to not, nope, then that's not who I need in my life. Like, power to you, go eat at someone else's table.
Love and light, just not with me. I will always, you know.
Are we going to quote Tupac? Because it is my favorite quote.
I was actually going to quote something from one of my favorite movies, which is going to literally make me so basic. Eat, Pray, Love.
I really thought you were going to go with the Mean Girls quote, so.
No. So basically, like when Julia Roberts was in India and she was having a really, really hard time with getting over the loss of her, or the relationship that she lost with her ex-husband. And that dude was like, you know, whenever I think about them, I send them love and light and I move on and I go on my way. Now, for me, I loved that, especially when I was like trying to heal and I was like, oh my God, I'm like here in the Bay Area and I have nobody and me. And I was like, think about like, you know, all the little flashbacks. Now I'm like, you know, I'm going to send them love and light. However,
There is a caveat.
there is a big caveat. Like, and this is where me just kind of growing into my own and growing into who I am. Now, if you have a problem and you don't come to me directly and you don't say it to my face and you just want to go run around, tell your little bitches and hoes and all that shit, is it really a problem? Because I love everybody. Let me evolve back into Karen for a second. Hold on. I love you, Karen. Please don't hate me. See, I love everybody. But when it comes down to it, the people in my life are the only ones that need to be in my life. And all the other shit, and all these other hoes. Okay, back to Trey.
I don't know if Karen's saying that.
No, she would. She would.
Maybe after a couple.
Basically, the people that are in my life for a reason. Mm-hmm. And the people who were in my life and they decide to leave or get booted out because of behaviors or just toxic traits or personalities or whatnot. And they decide to keep doing things and trying to harm you, basically, kind of like how you were saying. They're trying to be self-serving. They're trying to be they are trying to what is that word? Anyway, they're trying to make themselves look good, or they're trying to be victim for themselves, or they're trying to
be a martyr.
Be a martyr, exactly. If they're like, oh, well, I did everything that I could, but like they just didn't like me, or or like things like that. Like, honestly, no, you're just trash. Like, you're literal trash, garbage. Like, take accountability for what you did or didn't do.
Right.
Own it. Realize you made a mistake. Mistakes are always fixable. That's the best thing about a mistake.
Yeah.
Or you can, if you can't fix that mistake and you tried, at least you did it.
Or you learned from it. You acknowledged that mistake and you won't make that one again.
Exactly. And so I will say, living down here, I think I've gained more enemies than I have friends. And guess what? I'm at peace with that. Because the people in my life who are in my life and they're around me, those are the only people that matter. They literally are the only people that fucking matter. I don't need all these other hoes chit-chatting, kikiing, haha, and like, bye. Go find another fucking house to throw down on a witch, bitch, because it's not going to be me. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, there's been a few people that have just been so rude to me that I'm like, oh, they don't like me. That's fine. Like, just don't come, like, give each other space. Like, have a good day. Hi, how are you? Whatever. Like, once or twice, someone has been like, oh, I'm going to invite so-and-so. And I'm like, okay, they don't like me, just so you know. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, but I'm not saying don't invite them. I'm just saying it might be awkward. And a couple of people have been like, what do you mean? I'm like, that's it. Like, they're like, well, why? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm not going to get into it. Go ask them.
It's not your business.
Either one, go ask them. I'm sure they'll tell you, because I keep hearing about how they fucking don't like me anyways. I'm like, good. All right. Perfect. Good on you. Like, why? Because I'm too honest for you? Great. I have standards and you don't like them? Fine. Like, I don't care. And part of me is really like, I don't care. And then part of me is like, meh, like, but like, just do better and we can still be friends.
It does hurt, though. Like, when you find out, like, people who used to fuck with you don't fuck with you anymore because of other people.
Yeah. And they haven't even come to tell you that they're not fucking with you. They're just telling everybody else. Like,
exactly.
Bitch, just come tell me that, great. All right. Perfect.
That part.
I'm sorry. Or like, do I need to apologize for something? Is it something I should apologize for? Because it's not something I should apologize for. I'm not. Even though I still apologize too often. I'm getting better. But like, yeah, just tell me. Because if it's something I need to apologize for, I did it. I was wrong. Or whatever. Like, or I did do it. I don't feel like I was wrong. Like, I'll fucking have that conversation.
Right. Instead, people just thrive on that drama of like the whole like, oh, well, so-and-so said this, or why is Trey being so mean to so-and-so on Facebook? Like, oh my God, like that's so rude. And then they tell everybody but you. And then they literally, like, you have to find out from somebody else. Right. It's shady. It's shitty. Not only is it shady, but it's high school.
Yeah. And like,
if you ain't got shit to say to me, bitch, I ain't got shit to say to you, but you fucking tell me to my face. And that's that.
Yeah.
And then I'll be like, okay, bet. Cool.
All right.
That's
I
fine.
won't waste my time
I wish
trying to get to know you anymore. Like,
I wish you well.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like, cool. Like, my name, like, your name won't come out my mouth because you told me up front. I don't give a fuck. Period.
Yeah, there's plenty of people. Like you said earlier, like, keep your circle small. Like, and you don't have to be best friends with everybody. Like, you can be like acquaintances and social. And like, oh, when I see that person, I love running into them and we have such good conversations. But that's as far as it ever has to go. Like, all of that is fine. Like, this thing that we all have to get together and we all have to get along. We all have to like, no, we don't. Like, I can agree to disagree with some of my best friends. Like, that's a crazy idea, and I don't know where you got that from, but all right. Like, are we going to dinner or what? Like,
it's such a healthy idea, though. if like, that's what I'm saying, like the core group, you can disagree with them.
Yeah.
You can get into fights, but guess what? At the end of the day, you realize your love for each other is so deep that you just like, you get over it.
Yeah.
And then you're like, let's talk about it.
Right.
And let's move forward. And you build on that because that's healthy.
Yeah.
It's a healthy relationship in a friendship.
In
And anything. Yeah.
Like you said earlier, like you shouldn't, if someone you're dating is doing something that makes you uncomfortable, you shouldn't have to be scared to tell them that it makes you uncomfortable.
Right.
Because it doesn't have to be a combative way. It can be just like you said, hey, like on the side when no one else is around, like, hey, babe or love or whatever the fuck you cute names you call each other.
Hey, asshole.
Yeah. Like, I have a friend and her husband, I have loved them since the day they got together. They were both like complete partiers and like not disasters, but like, could they be going down the wrong road? Like, are they getting too hard into they met each other and just clicked. You know what I mean? Like, you know, when you see two people that you're like, oh, that were supposed, and sometimes they talk and she'll be like, do you know what that fucking guy did? And he's standing like 5 feet away. She'll be like, fucking Joe does blah, blah, blah. Like, and he'll be like, oh, you fucking what? And like the two, like, and if you like, they just have the best relationship. Like, they'll give each other shit, but they love each other. They have each other's back 100%, but they like will also not let each other get away with shit. Like, it is one of the best relationships because it's just open and honest and real and like,
honestly, for me, that's goals.
Yeah,
that's
like
literal
all the time.
Goals.
I'm always like, I love just hanging out with you two because I get to see what like a good relationship is. Mm-hmm. Like, they both work a ton, they have kids, like the stress and the like, and like they'll have like a fight, quote unquote, but it's not like ever
not like a screaming match. Like,
no,
one
or like
has to
sometimes
win.
they'll be like, well, fuck you, oh fuck you too, like, and it's not even about like the language, like it's just like that whole vibe of like.
Also, Siobhan is from Boston, so that's just how they speak.
It really is. I do. I have such a trash mouth, and my dad is so not proud. Sorry, Dad. My dad doesn't swear.
Really?
My dad is one of, you'll meet him when they come out to visit, but like eventually when he's better.
Does he go like, what the heck?
Oh, and sometimes he'll say hell, but like one day he was really, really pissed. Like, so he was working on something, he couldn't get it, and like something happened, and all of a sudden he goes with the same gusto that you would say motherfucker. This guy goes, your grandmother's sister. Wow. I could not stop laughing for 3 minutes. And he was pissed, and he swore that was his swear. Your grandmother's sister, and he like slammed the table.
Your grandmother's sister,
like so hardcore. And I was like, "What did you say?" And I just could not stop laughing. And he was so angry, and he's looking at me, and I was just like, "You said your grandmother's sister?" Like, what even, like, you know, he'll call someone a nincompoop in traffic. Like, that's his road rage
instead of an asshole.
You nincompoop.
Oh my god.
I found that word in a book one time, and I was like, look, I like highlighted it and ran to him. I'm like, other people use it too.
Your dad has more restraint than we will ever have in our entire lives.
The man, for the longest time, I would get so mad at him because he would go to buy beer on like Friday night after work, and he would buy like at most a 12-pack. Mm-hmm. He would go on Friday and buy a 12-pack. He would go on Saturday if he needed to, or like a Sunday, but like only on the weekend. But I would, dude, just buy a 30-pack. I'm like, you're the cheapest man ever. Like, you know, it's cheaper if you buy a 30-pack.
He was supporting small businesses.
No, he would only. I didn't learn till later. He would only buy. He wouldn't buy more than that, so he wouldn't drink it in one night.
Oh,
like, man has never had a drinking problem, but probably because he has restraint, and like, so he would not even put it in the house, so it wasn't an option.
Honestly, good for him.
Yeah, like
literally, he's goals.
But
like,
then he
damn.
But like, never even like said it to me when I was giving him shit for years about like spending an extra $4 or whatever a weekend, because it was his way of keeping himself like
in control.
If you don't have more than a 6-pack in the house, you can't drink more than a 6-pack.
Honestly.
Brilliant.
Mad respect, and that is brilliant.
Great.
So brilliant.
Yeah. Go for it.
Okay, I'm gonna go pee.
I'm gonna get us more wine.
Yay! Like, I know that like we were close, we were cute, we were like, oh my god, Siobhan, you're like, oh my god, Trey, oh my god, we love each other. We didn't actually start bonding until Pride. Like we bought, okay, actually, I want to take that back. This summer was when you finally started shedding those onion peels and you started allowing me into your core.
Yeah. Well, because and I was talking about this with Carrie the other day when we were having our conversation, is I'm still probably a little jaded, but so I'm scared. Like, I don't know how to let people back in because I had let people in, and those people, when I needed them most, walked away. Yeah. And like, even the people that I thought wouldn't walk away, other people I thought, like, we had different kinds of friendships. So like, and when we were talking about it, I think she was taking it as like literally just, I was like, how do you let people back in? And we were talking, I think, and we were kind of saying more specific on that group of friends, but I kind of meant anyone. Like, when you get so hurt like that, like I had married the guy that was my best friend, and I thought we were going to be
together forever.
Yeah, and like, part of me knows I probably shouldn't have done it and all this other stuff, because we should have just stayed really good friends. Yeah. But we didn't, and then things got twisted and weird, and like, one is, how do I know how to trust myself on who to let back in, as much as like, how do I trust people to let them back in? So it's like a double-edged sword. Like, all right, well, I met these people who I really like, but like, and then it's also a fear of rejection. Mm-hmm. Like, if I show them who I really am, will they still actually like me? Because those people didn't.
Well, I'm so glad that you did.
Thank you. That felt really vulnerable to even say all that.
And I love you, and I appreciate you, and I hear you, and I see you. You are valuable. Don't ever.
That's the truth. That's the really truth. Like, when someone sees me, that makes me actually even more uncomfortable, because I don't know if I feel like I have been seen in the past, which is kind of.
I see you for what you have said. Yeah. I see you for what you've said. And I understand that. And I feel that. And so I don't want you to think that I'm like, babe, I see you.
No.
You know what I mean?
Like, no. And I take it like in the way that you mean it, which is, that's what's scary.
You're feeling.
If you meant it like, hair,
like, oh my God, yeah, I love you, I see you.
Yeah. That like would just roll right off. But it's like, because you are genuine, because I get it, and because I feel it. And I feel like I see you, and that's part of what I love, is like,
I call you a big sister for a reason. So like, I'm
shorter than you. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey. No, but like, literally, okay, so.
No, that means the world to me.
When we were planning, so after my first, ooh, that was a loud clap. After my first drag. Oh. After my first drag show at the Fireside this year, we had an after meeting. Basically, just how to figure out how to plan things. I was sick with COVID, but I made a mistake and I made an error, and so like, I got red. I got my ass handed to me, and honestly, I can honestly say that also was a lesson, and it also you helped teach me. You are a teacher as much as you are a dear friend, and you have taught me several fucking times. You need to have a thicker skin. You need to have a thicker skin. When you first told me that, I was like, sorry, I'm not from fucking Boston and I don't have fucking feelings. Like, what the fuck? But no, like, the more that you said it and the more that you like would teach me, like, you need to have a thicker skin. It didn't turn into an ego insult. It turned more into that people are going to hurt you.
Right.
And you know that people are going to just be assholes and you're going to get offended at some point. But what you need to do is you need to take that and you need to water for ducks back. And you need to just move forward and just be like, whatever, bitch, you're fucking drunk. Right. Trashy ass hoe. You know what I mean? Like,
you can't reason with drunk.
Right. And I've applied that to my life too. So I want to thank you so much, because you're my big sister, and I love you, and I love you so much.
You're gonna make me cry, bitch.
Don't cry, bitch.
I know, my mascara looks good today.
Does it?
No. No, not really. It was an off day.
No, but I really started to see, like, I knew you were a hard worker. I knew you fucking were burning the candle at like 5 different ends, not even 2. Like, but I I've always known you were a hard worker. But for me, you helped make my dream come true in making that queer prom event for Alameda Pride. And so for that, like,
it was an amazing event.
Hands down, you have my complete loyalty. Like, you have my fealty. You have made it to the top. How many bitches do I know?
You're up there. There's a lot, but there's some good ones.
Mm-hmm. You're literally, and I only keep 5. Well, okay, I'll make it to 6 because I have to include my drag mother. Sorry, mama.
Well, she is a fierce bitch.
She is a fierce bitch. You are in my top 6, and I cap it at 6. I will cap it at 6. You were like, you guys are all people that I learned from, people that I literally would not have learned. I haven't learned as much from other people. I have learned so much from the women in my group, the strong women, and my drag mother. And just how to handle myself, how to conduct myself. That's the same word, but
no, I mean, I get it. Like, because you conduct yourself in a certain way, but then when situations come up, you know how to handle them.
Exactly.
And that's what you're trying to say. Is like, and that's it. It is because you know, the only way to be the person you want to be is to show up as them, even if sometimes it doesn't feel as comfortable or authentic as you want it to. Like that fake it till you make it thing is kind of real. Like,
yeah, it is.
Put the mask on, put the makeup on, do whatever you need to do to be able to go out into the world
and get through it.
Like you were saying. And then eventually it will feel more natural and more authentic. Like, I mean, if you think about it, even some of the most famous people that are so good at their crafts all have like imposter syndrome at some point, or they've talked about it, you know, like, oh, I didn't know. And so once you realize that, like, it's like, all right, well then I can kind of be the master of my own destiny. I can decide what my reality is going to be, and I can make it to what I want it to be.
Exactly.
It's not easy. It's not easy at all.
It's really not.
But it's better than the alternative. Like, staying small and staying safe is eventually going to... Your unhappy will seep out in other ways, whether it's your weight, whether it's your shitty relationships, whether it's settling for a job that is comfortable, even though it may not be what you want to do, or it may not be paying your bills the right way. Like, change is really scary and change is really hard, but like the payoff is like unbelievable. Like, I never thought my life would be what it is today. When, you know, part of me didn't know, how's the best way to say this? I always knew my life would be different than most people's. Like, even when I was a kid, I just knew my path was going to be different. And I would tell people that all the time. But then I kind of settled into the path everyone else wanted me to be on. And it would have killed me if I had stayed.
Yeah.
Or I would have become a heroin addict. You know what I mean? Like, I would have given into being over-medicated and taking all the drugs and numbing out all of the stuff that I was unhappy with.
Yeah.
And the changing was so fucking hard. And losing everything that you've known and everything that you love and the comfort of all of that and those people. And it sucks. And at times it was like the dark spots I got into were even darker than some of the depression episodes I'd gone through. But there was always something that, like, I could see that light. Like, it's even sometimes a tiny, tiny little speck. And like, it just started to slowly. And then one day I was like, oh, look at my, like, where I was last year, 2 years ago, or I mean, 5 years ago is, I don't even remember what that life is like some days. And I can't even imagine what or how I felt in those days anymore.
Yeah.
And that is like a blessing in its own.
That's actually really valid because, you know, like, if I'm struggling, which I kind of am, I have been like the past couple like weeks or so, or whatever, I think about, I'm like, but guess what? You were struggling even worse a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And, you know, like you literally, you had to like get pennies to figure out, like, can I afford a bag of rice so I can eat? You know, like it's definitely very like, it puts things into perspective. Yeah, you're struggling right now.
Right.
But guess what? It was a lot worse.
Yeah.
And yeah, I see that.
The you like 2 years ago was wishing you were struggling
Exactly.
like you are now.
Exactly.
And so it kind of does like, okay, I can do this. I've done this. I've come this far. And like, I didn't make it this far to not make it to the next spot I wanted to be
And
at.
it gives you gratitude. It implants no, I won't say it implants that seed. It waters that seed of gratitude so that it can start growing into a tree.
Yeah.
You know, things can always be a lot worse.
Yeah.
Things are bad. We're human. Things always happen to where things are fucking shitty. That's life. But it's what we do with those situations and how we respond to them and react to them that literally just makes it so much better.
Yeah. And they always get shitty, but somehow it always does get better.
My motto is literally everything always works out in the end.
Yeah.
So no matter how bleak, it's going to work out.
Yeah. And it may not work out the way you thought it was or the way you wished it would, but like it'll work out in a way that somehow or a random way it's supposed to, or at least it'll like, if something that wasn't supposed to happen, it'll like, I don't know, like shuffle out into like be a decent enough where you're like, okay, I survived that. I'm okay. Like, this is what I learned. This is what I wish I'd known. Like, all right, now next thing, like,
And now the next challenge. I feel like also too, like the universe sometimes throws you the same challenge in a different mask. For me, it's men.
I think for a lot of people it's men or significant others. They'll say
For a lot of the listeners, and for me personally, it is situations that I have been in that I've needed to get out of, that I have chosen not to get out of for the sake of like, let's go with the drug example. You know, dealt with a lot of shitty people when I used to do when I was doing drugs and shit, you know, and it was be like a lot of SA has happened. A lot of things I had never wanted to happen to me have happened to me. And so leaving that situation, going into something that was similar but I didn't recognize it. You know, it takes sometimes I call them exams. Sometimes the exams that the universe sends you are the same. It's kind of like when you were in school. Did you ever have like, here are your tests. They're A, B, and C, different letter keys. So it's the same test, but it's a different letter key. And like, you know, like you're going to fail it. You're going to pass it. But once you pass it, you don't have to deal with that same exam again because you've learned that lesson. And then you move on.
Unless you haven't learned that
Unless you haven't learned that lesson. And then guess what, bitch? You're doing a different letter key. And it's going to go from A all the way to Z.
Yeah.
And then after Z, I don't even know.
Yeah.
But you're going to keep learning that until you finally get some sense. And you study. And you recognize what is happening.
Yep. And when you see those flags come up, you don't think carnival. You think danger, detour.
Exactly. The red flags are bad, boo-boo.
Oh, but they just look so much like fun. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they do not. I know they're never fun.
They're never fun. Mm-mm. You end up hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. You end up hurt, and
you're like, why did I? And then the worst part is, you're like, how did I get here? Comes full circle again. You're like, because I chose to.
You just take a look in the mirror, and then you see, oh, just kidding, it was me.
It was my fault. Because sometimes a lot of times it is just the tiny choices that get you to those, but you know in your gut sometimes when you're making the big choice.
Yeah.
When you're like, oh, my gut says I should just turn around. You're like, but maybe just one night.
Maybe this would just be good for just one more night. It's going to be okay.
But this is different.
Yeah.
I'm different. No, you're not that different, bitch.
You're really not. No. Have a seat.
Yeah. Sit back down.
Yeah. Let's reorganize and let's move forward.
Yes. Let's look at those flags. Remember, let's form our detour plan.
So I do want to say,
oh gosh,
Oh no,
Hit
bitch.
me. Hit me. You're going to give me another compliment. I'm going to cry. Was I right?
I mean, technically. Thank you so much again for helping me with season 1 of Sanctuary.
Oh, you're very welcome. It was amazing to be able to help. And I love it. I love watching you perform. I love being there to watch you perform. I love the tiny moments that I get to be like, yeah, I'm part of this. I love all of it.
So Sanctuary is my drag show. And I have it,
We.
Period, because you helped me get the sponsorship. So yes, we started it. Sandy approached me, the bar owner of the Fireside Lounge. It's in California, Alameda, California. And Sandy had been burned out from drag queens before. And so
It begged and pleaded.
it took a lot of work. It was a lot of work. And that was all you. Although I
will babysit. I will make sure we're okay.
I did try and help and plant the seed, and I was like,
You did.
We
worked on. We tag team that shit.
We did our due diligence. So when she asked, I was like, oh my God, yeah. The first episode, I call them episodes.
I like it.
I like it, right? It's
it.
like
It is the Trey. It is the Anya Dick show.
I had COVID, but it went swimmingly. It was very well
really
received.
fun.
Yeah.
And I think it helped it because of the fact that you had the brilliant idea to remote in.
Yeah.
And so it was a little wonky, but it worked and it was fun and it was COVID and it was everyone got it and was like, I'm down for it. And I think it really just made it.
Thank you. And Sanctuary is a variety drag show for people of all walks of life, all ages, not all ages, because if you're young, 21 plus.
Occasionally we can do 1 or 2 events that we can use outside and have in all ages, but we're a bar, so we do mostly 21.
Yeah. And so
We're
it's
an
just
adult playground.
Yes. It's for people to come as they are and to feel safe and to feel seen and to feel loved and appreciated. And it's such a fun, it's every show has been fun. There's always been something that has made it fun.
I will definitely cut that out.
No, don't edit it. Don't edit that out.
That's my classier side.
That was so epic.
We've had some wine. Sanctuary is a safe place for really great people.
It's a safe place for really great people.
We're very accepting of all kinds. Even belching bitches.
No, but it's well, it's not been like super packed except for the prom event that we threw.
No.
It's still full. It's full enough. You know, it's not like it's not. And when I say full enough, I mean like the seats are filled.
Right.
All of the seats are filled.
It's a good crowd.
It's a very good crowd. They're all very receptive. They're all there to have a great time.
Yeah.
They're all tipping because you need to tip drag queens.
Okay.
Oh,
We can do that.
and it's so rewarding. And it's last Monday was the season finale.
It was, and it was an amazing, amazing show. You look beautiful. I love that short wig.
Thank you.
I like so many of your wigs, but I really like that short
I
one.
named her Sabrina.
She does. She is a Sabrina.
If you ever want to borrow it, you can.
Oh,
No, not Sabrina, but any of the other wigs.
not that one, bitch.
No, bitch, she's new.
I used to have like a fairly decent wig collection.
If you ever need to borrow wigs, I literally have a full fucking tub.
Oh.
I have a tub of
Nice.
wigs, like a storage container.
Yeah.
And so like all we would need to do is like steam it, get it back to base, which is straight, and
Yeah.
then like restyle it. And then like you can totally wear that shit.
Maybe your next drag show in February of 2023. Maybe I'll rock out a slightly drag look
For my birthday show.
to be your assistant. Since I'm the bitch that cleans up all the money.
It's recommended that unless you know what's going on in a drag show, you don't collect the other queen's tips unless they ask you.
Or you just don't get involved unless you're asked.
That part.
You don't hop into any. Let's put that caveat out right now. in any situation that you are out in public, unless someone expressly asks you to help, especially if you're in a bar or a restaurant, in a nightclub, at a coffee shop, unless the person that works in that establishment asks you to get involved, mind your fucking business.
That part.
Like, don't jump up because you think the bartender needs help. If they need help, they will ask you. Otherwise, you're just making their job harder. Mm-hmm. You're making the situation more difficult and harder to control. And now you're in another unknown variable, which is also a liability. And you're putting that person's job and night and safety in jeopardy.
Yes.
Because now they have to deal with a drunk person and try to figure out how to protect your stupid ass for trying to get involved.
Exactly.
Take your ego aside, sit there, and let whoever's dealing with it deal with it.
And same for drag queens. If you're asked to pick up the tips, make sure you give the tips to the queens afterwards. After you collect everything, you don't just put them somewhere. We work hard for our money, and we work very, very hard to entertain you. And I
it
want
costs a lot of money to be a drag queen.
Exactly. And I also want to premise this. Currently, there is a war on the LGBT people. There is a war on drag queens. The far left, not the far left, the far right have decided that we are groomers. We are people that are trying to brainwash children. And I want to premise this. We are literal people. While we are gay or trans or non-binary, we are just here trying to fucking survive. Drag is performance art, and we are artists. We do not fucking care about children. And I don't want to say it like that, but I mean, we don't fucking care about kids in the way that people in the media are making us seem. We want to do drag queen story hour. We want to teach kids about diversity. We want to teach kids, like, if you want to be a fucking fairy princess, guess what? You can be a fucking fairy princess. We want them to grow. We want them to thrive. They are our next generation. They are going to be the next future drag queens. They are going to be the next presidents, the next elected officials. They're going to be the next teachers, the next parents. And if we are the catalyst for helping them realize, oh my God, this is what I want to do, then fuck yes, we're going to help them. But we're not going to do it in a way that is predatory or a way that is going to damage their lives. We don't fucking care. We don't want that. We're already trying so hard to be so happy on our own that it is so aggravating and devastating that people who choose not to see reason and not to understand reason are now taking it upon themselves to try and do something about it when they couldn't be any more wrong. You know what I mean?
I do, yeah.
And yeah, like there obviously, like, in any community, there are bad eggs. There's always bad eggs. Right. And we get that, and we don't, like, I only speak for myself, but I also feel like the entire LGBT community, if they hear this, they would agree. We don't condone pedophilia. We don't fucking condone grooming fucking children. We don't condone violating an innocent. They're fucking children. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
the thing I don't get about it is that there's not been a scandal about a team of drag queens, like, kidnapping and pirating's the wrong word, but, like, shipping kids all over. There's not
trafficking.
Like, yes, thank you. Mm-hmm. There's not, like, a scandal about that, but there is with old white guys. Oh, and more old white guys in what they call the Catholic Church. Like, the church saying that drag queens are a problem.
Guess what?
Like, the biggest...
Check your Catholic Church, bitch, because not your Catholic Church.
Oh no, I'm from Boston, bitch. It is my Catholic church.
not okay. So I wasn't aiming that at you.
Like, no,
that was
but I'm
not
just
shade.
saying. But also, like, yeah, part of the
Honestly,
problem.
check the fucking Catholic Church first. Check your fucking church. Check your fucking teachers. check the people that you're letting your kids hang around first before you ever come for fucking drag queens, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to say we're in it for the check. We're in it for the community building. We're in it to make a difference, and we're in it to teach diversity. The check is just a fucking added bonus to that. We don't fucking want to touch your fucking children.
No, they have sticky hands and you have a beautiful dress on.
They have sticky hands. We have beautiful wigs. We have really expensive dresses. Granted, we're always going to hug children because
you're kind and you're trying to teach self-expression and love and kindness.
Because like they're like, oh my God, it's a fucking pretty princess. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, oh my God, it's a little sticky hand, adorable little baby. Of course I'm going to fucking hug you. I don't give a fuck about my dress at that point.
Right, but you're not going to say to some little kid with sticky hands, like, come touch more of me.
No, bitch.
That's what I'm saying.
Ew.
That's what I'm saying.
It costs too much. I am...
That's what I'm saying. No drag queen's gonna go after a kid because they're too afraid of their dress.
And this all started because drag queens at a drag show that had kids there, I think it was like a drag brunch, they were wearing dance outfits, which are usually like a leotard or something, because we are padded, which means if you don't know what padding is for drag queens, it gives us our hips, which means it's usually a couch cushion or some sort of cushioning, which accentuates the hips to give us more of a female shape. That being said, like when we are, like if we're in a long ball gown or like a long gown and we're doing a ballad, that's one thing. It still gives us that beautiful female silhouette because women are the center of the universe and they are fucking beautiful. Let me just premise that. Now, if they are doing a dance number, we're going to wear something that will keep us less inhibited so that we can actually move and move around. We're not going to wear ball gowns and pretty dresses the whole time. We're going to wear something that's going to get the energy up, get the movement up, just allow us to move because we're there to dance. We're there to entertain. I mean, y'all aren't saying shit when like Lady Gaga or J-Lo or Britney Spears or Christina Aguilera or Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, like, and I'm not comparing drag queens to these beautiful, fantastic performers, like, but at the end of the day, if they wear dance costumes when they're trying to dance and get down and dirty and like party, like look at fucking Beyonce's fucking 2018 Coachella performance. She wore dance outfits so that she could move. Why are we? It's because we are different that makes us a threat. We are seen differently because we love differently, because we live differently, because we exist differently. And that is the part that's so upsetting. This week alone, there were 4 different bars that were shut down, not shut down completely, but shut down from a drag show because people, I'm not trying to make this political. No. I'm so sorry.
But this is part of your world. This is part of
this is part of me as a drag queen.
Or we have to be aware of.
Yes,
not just you. Like,
exactly.
This is part of like, we all need to be aware that this keeps happening, that it shouldn't be happening. One of the problems too, I think, is like somehow drag queens have been sexualized in a way that they shouldn't be. Like, drag queens are sexy bitches. A drag show isn't always about sex. Like, very rarely is it. It's usually, some of them can be campy, some of them can be burlesque, but like, if
it's an adult show, if it's at a bar, it's going to get raunchy because it's 21 and up. It is an adult show. And
yes, but I'm saying like just a drag queen just in general has become sexualized.
It has become sexualized.
And that's what I was saying. Like, just because she's a drag queen doesn't mean it's all about the sex.
Exactly.
There's different kinds of drag queens. There's just different kinds of drag shows. Drag shows, drag readings, like they're all curated for what they're for. When it's in a bar and it's 21 plus or it's like a private thing, like of course it's going to, adults are gross and raunchy and their heads are always in the gutter like mine. I mean, it's fine. You know what I mean? Like, that's the truth. Like, adults, when more than 3 adults are together, 90% of the time the conversation will end up at sex on some point. Because that's what everybody's wanting.
Everybody wants to talk about sex.
Because everybody wants to be getting more sex, better sex, like whatever sex. Like
exactly.
So like that in a bar that has its place, but like at a fucking Reading Rainbow room, no one's bringing up sex. Like that drag queen is there to be like be fun and be a fairy princess and be like showing a different way to live and that it's okay and that you can be fabulous and fierce. And
I've known there's a queen up in Sacramento. Her name is Apple Adams. I consider her, when I first started drag, she became my sister. I fucking love her. Apple, I love you. And I'm so proud of seeing your journey and your growth as a person. And I'm proud of the queen that you have become. However, not however. Oh, Not in addition to, I've seen actual footage of her doing drag queen story hour at a shop in Sacramento called the
well, let's find out if they deserve a shout out first.
Anyway, I forgot what the fuck it's called. My brother's wife is friends with the owners. Okay. I just forgot what it's called. But anyway, Apple has done that. Apple has done drag queen story hour, and I've seen footage, and it's literally her reading a book, and then she literally sang the Wheels on the Bus with the kids. We're not here to fuck with your kids.
Right.
We are here to show them you can be different, and that's okay. You are fucking loved, and you are cherished, and you are seen, and you are valid, and you are appreciated, and you are stupendous and amazing just the way that you are. And if you want to be different, guess what? You fucking can, and you are allowed to be.
And isn't that the message you want your kids to hear?
It's literally, I would think that if I'm a parent, I would want my kids to know that.
Right.
Aside from me telling them that.
Well, but that, like, and there's the rub.
There's the rub.
The parents that are fighting this are probably the parents that are saying, you need to be this, you need to do that.
They're probably the abusive as fuck parents. Yeah. And also, a lot of the alt-right people and a lot of the fucking Nazis and people that are fucking the Proud Boys and shit. Also, fuck the Proud Boys. Mm-hmm. Little pussy ass bitches. Anyway.
Amen.
I said what I said.
I second it. Come at me, bro.
The people that protest are usually, because they're also a majority of men.
White men.
A majority, excuse me. Yes, not a majority of men. A majority of white men.
With small penises.
We're not.
Sorry, I can't.
We're not going to cock shame people.
Oh no, I'm just
regardless of their size.
All right, I'll cut
what we are going to shame them for is for their inability to recognize that the reason why they're protesting is because they're fags themselves.
Ooh.
Since they want to call us that. Excuse me, and that just came out of my mouth.
That was just some real speaking and real.
It was real talk, and it's real tea. And honestly, the reason why they want to complain and the reason why they're fighting so hard is because they have no accountability in recognizing that they are gay themselves and or attracted to trans women or trans men. Mm-hmm. And because of that, it brews inside of them and they decide to act out on it in the only way that they know how, which is violence or anger or just like banding together with people who feel the same. Yep. And that's honestly, this is going to be the downfall of, well, honestly, there's many other factors in the downfall of America, but eventually, because I already know that like we as gay people, we're done. We are done having to fight for our rights. We are done having to fight for recognition and acceptance, and we are done. And now we're all about fuck around and find out. So,
but in a non-violent way, because I don't like. And I'm only saying that because violence can't match violence, and it hasn't. And on this, hold on. As I said this, I just kind of cut you off, but just because I got a little, I can feel your aggression.
No, you're fine. Oh no, you're fine.
No, and I,
Sorry,
no, and I, I get it. Like, I don't always. I mean, I can't fully grasp it because I'm a white chick. Like, I can't fully grasp how it all feels. And I understand that. And, like, I acknowledge that because I feel like that's sometimes part of the problem is people, like, try to... You can't empathize with something you would never understand. Like, but everything, like... It can't keep going in the way it's going.
Right.
Like, I feel hopeful that things are changing back into the right direction. Like, Kirkland and I were talking about how, like, at least now you can see your enemy because they're so bold about it. But, like, I feel like that has to not be the majority. Right? Like, and maybe that is me being a little too hopeful and a little, but, like, there has to be more people that feel the way we do than that don't. Like, and I get that they're loud and I get that they're kind of scary and, like, but you can't hate when you know someone. And I think some of that is because they just don't know people.
Understood.
And like, doesn't make it right, doesn't make it, but like, I love the fact that we're to a point where drag queens and more Black people are not just settling it and taking it but they're also, it's not your job to fix it all. It's our job to fix it.
Correct. And just like how if I'm going to bring my Blackness into it, if we're going to look at how things have happened in the world for Black people, and then we see the riots and the protests, and also the riots were not started by Black people.
No, they weren't.
They were not. I'm just going to say that first and foremost. They were not started by Black people. They were started by people who are antagonizing and trying to create a situation.
Right.
To make the Black community I want to say disempowered, but also to make us look bad.
Right.
So, however, I am going to say give me a second. I am going to say for the LGBTQIA plus community, Stonewall. It's going to be a Stonewall part 2. And this time, we're not fucking playing. We weren't playing the first time. This time, we're not fucking playing games, period. You guys are coming... Not you guys. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You
The
know what I'm
royal
saying in
we.
general.
The royal you.
The assholes that are trying to come for us and our rights.
Right.
You're going to be met with resistance, and it's not going to be pretty. And I don't want violence. I don't want it.
No, I don't either.
But at the end of the day, it's kind of like so when I was back to when I was bullied in school, my dad literally told the principals and vice principals, because I wouldn't fight back, I would just take it. He straight up said, if you fucking keep fucking with a dog, he wasn't calling me a dog, but he was just the scenario.
Analogy.
If you keep fucking with the dog and you keep torturing it or hurting it or doing whatever, what the fuck do you think the dog is going to do? It's going to fight back. And it's going to come back even harder than you imagined.
Yeah. Don't
fuck with our community, because we are going to end you. We have had enough. We have been here. We have been queer for fucking thousands of years. And we are tired of your bullshit. And that is on. Period. Period. We are done. We are tired of it. We deserve a seat at the table. And fuck your God. Because guess what? The United States wasn't even built on fucking religion.
No, it was not.
So fuck your religion. Fuck you. And fuck whatever conspiracy theories that you believe. You can take all of that, compact it, mold it into a dildo, and shove it up your fucking ass. without any lube. Okay? Okay.
I feel like that's kind of a mic drop moment. Like, that's where we should maybe end this for today. Like, I don't even know what to say after that. I mean, truth and mic drop.
Sorry, I wasn't trying to get political, but it's
But how do you not at this point in life? Do you know what I mean? Like,
it's hard to not, as a drag queen sometimes, and that's really shitty that I even have to think about it. Like, after the Colorado shit, we lost 5 beautiful people. Mm-hmm. We lost 5 fucking beautiful people. And it was, I would go through Facebook, I would see all that shit, and I'd start to cry. I did the same exact thing with the Pulse shooting. Yeah. And that was about 5 years ago.
Has it been that long?
It's been about 5 years for the Pulse shooting. And I just remember, because I was working at the gay bar at that time, and I just remember like going into work and I'd be crying and I'd be like wondering, are we next?
Right.
We as performers, we as a whole community, we should not have to worry about going into our spaces, and we should not have to worry about, are we next? Mm-hmm. Are we going to get hit next? Are we going to die just for going and dancing and celebrating our community and being together as one? Mm-hmm. And while the LGBTQIA plus community has their own issues, which we can get into another time, at this point, there's now a war on the queers. There's a war on the queers.
Yeah.
And I actually just saw an article today that the Department of Homeland Security has issued a state of crisis for the queer community because of the domestic terrorism that is taking place. And so this is very frustrating. It's angering because we're literally, like I said before, we're just trying to fucking live our lives.
Someone asked me after the last shooting, was that Colorado, right? It's the most recent one. Someone was like, are you guys still having your show? And I was like, what do you mean? And they were like, well, are you still going to have your show? And I was like, yeah, why wouldn't we? And they were like, well, what just happened? Are you nervous? And I was like, no, I'm emboldened to do more.
Exactly.
Like, no, I'm not going to, because some stupid white guy has a gun and is mad about whatever. No, I'm not going to, like, no, actually, I want to take them and get them to work in other bars. I want to make drag queens more accessible. I want to make them, like, more visible. Mm-hmm. Like, because fuck you for trying to shut it down. Like, and I'm tired of, like, they just issued a warning about, like, a crisis on the gate, which it needs to be because, but like, when are they going to start doing something about the crisis of white men shooting places?
Right. When are we going to actually have some fucking gun control in the fucking country?
Because it's every shooter has been, every mass shooter that I can think of.
Fucking lily white as snow. Hashtag Wonder Bread.
And they're either really mad at women or they're really mad at gay people.
Right. Because they're fucking closeted.
Right. Or they're not getting laid because they're probably douchebags, and then they're also, it's not their fault.
Mm-hmm. All of the fucking gay all of the excuse me.
A Freudian slip I just heard?
Ooh, that was a Freudian slip. All of the Republicans in our houses, in our senates, all of that shit, the ones that pass the fucking bills usually end up with fucking dramas. Mm-hmm. Gay dramas. Yep. Fucking, what is it, Lindsey Graham? Oh, bitch. There was a fucking story that was going all fucking round about, he's called Lady G. Oh. And you want to know why?
Because of the waddle?
No. Oh, no. I'll tell you. So, an escort posted their story. Oh. So, Lady G, who's Lindsey Graham?
Allegedly. I can't afford to be sued.
Allegedly. For legal purposes.
Allegedly.
For legal purposes, this is a joke. Wink, wink.
Allegedly.
So the sex worker came and Lady G arrived and was like, murr, murr, murr. And so then they undressed. They were about to do their business. The sex worker saw a bunch of bumps on their booty hole and their taint and was like, do you mind if I just like wipe you down with the wipe? And Lady G was like, oh yeah, sure, fine, no problem. So they do. They don't come off. And so when the sex worker asks what happened, Lady G went, oh, those are just my little ladybugs. Because they're fucking moles. He has a moley booty hole. And that sex worker just ran out that fucking door, bitch.
Is it, so this is, are they moles or is it like?
Mole.
I was in my head trying to remember what syphilis looks like in a book.
No, they're just brown moles.
No.
And honestly, I'm like, no wonder he's so like anti-LGBT because like, bitch, no one wants to fuck him.
He's in an interracial marriage.
Not Lindsey Graham.
Are you sure?
Lindsey Graham?
I feel like I need to
Lindsey Graham is like one step away from being a full ass Nazi. Like
I know, but I think he's married to like an Asian chick.
You know what?
We gotta Google box this.
We're Googling this right now.
Magic box that shit.
We're magic boxing this. Okay.
I think I'm not wrong.
Lindsay.
Maybe I am wrong, but isn't he the one that like Trump keeps calling his wife like something Chow or something? I smoke a lot of weed, so I forget.
No,
things.
you're fine. From what I'm reading, like, okay, let's see.
It's not him then. It's one of the other
Hold
ones.
on. Close to me. Graham says he came close to marrying a young lady when he was in his 20s, but the relationship ended.
Oh, he's still single.
Graham claimed he almost married a flight attendant named Sylvia, who he met because he likes dick. He likes that dick.
Who's Chow's husband? I don't want to keep calling her Chow, but I do think that's her last name.
Oh my God. When asked who would be his first lady if he were ever to become president, he responded, well, I've got a sister. She could play that role if necessary. Adding, I've got a lot of friends. We'll have a rotating first lady. No, because baby, honey.
Rotating first lady? You just doing like gangbangs on them? Like, what?
You like the dick. It's okay. It's very obvious now. We turned this very political.
We did. But shit, that's what happens.
But you know what I want to say about that? When that person asked you when you were scared. Because now I've received that and I've heard that.
Not if I was scared. Well, I guess that's kind of what you're
or like nervous or whatever. Yeah. I would honestly say the whole community is nervous. We're worried. Are we going to die tonight if we decide to go out? And at the end of the day, you know, Harvey Milk actually had a fantastic quote. He said, should a bullet ever enter my head, may it bust down every closet door. And maybe I didn't say that exactly right, but I know it was pretty accurate from what I just said. And we're not going anywhere. We've always been here. We've just, maybe sometimes we've hidden it. Maybe sometimes we've shoved it so far down inside of us and we became very angry and we have just lived our lives in anger and we've just been angry assholes for the rest of our lives. But at the end of the day, in this current generation, we aren't hiding. We are not going to silence ourselves just for your own comfort. I will not silence myself just for your own comfort. I will not minimize myself. I am here. I have a show. And guess what? I will make sure that everybody in that show is safe. And I will make sure that should something happen, I will be the first person to run up and try to stop them. Because I want the people who are at that show, because those people at my show are family. I will protect my family. And I will do everything in my power to make sure that they go home at night. That's just me. And that's how it's going to be. Death is the next adventure. And while death is kind of scary, I can't be afraid of it. Why would I? I want people to feel safe when they come to my show. And I want them to enjoy themselves. And I want them to have so much fun. And I want them to lose their troubles for a little bit. You know?
You do. That's what the drag shows are supposed to. I mean, that's
what,
always what I have known them to be.
That's what drag shows are there for.
It's supposed to be fun and maybe sometimes campy and maybe like just good kind of
entertainment.
Trashy fun.
Yeah.
Like singers that are talented or dancer, you know, like performers that are talented in what they do. They're there to have a good time. They're there to give you a good time. Like
we're literally entertainers.
Right.
It's like going to a burlesque show, which I know a lot of people like to go to. A lot of conservative like to go to.
Because they're all fucking freaks too.
Right.
Like, everyone's a freak. It just depends on your level and your comfort with admitting it. Like everyone has their freak thing. Everyone like, and if you don't, you're probably doing something wrong. Like, or you're so repressed, like...
They're literally so repressed. Like, get over your fucking self.
And if you don't want to go to a drag show, don't go to a drag show.
Period.
If you don't want to be gay, don't fuck someone that's the same sex as you. I mean, it's not that hard. Like,
it's really not.
Like, okay, you don't want to have an abortion, so don't have an abortion. Like, I don't know, you don't want to have a chick with dicks, don't have a chick with dick. Like, that's fine. Just you're good. You're go to like the fucking Elks Club, you'll be fine. Like,
just like leave everybody alone. Mind your business.
Like, why is your life so boring that you have to control what someone else is doing that you do not know in their house or in their pants?
Mm-hmm.
They're not hurting someone. Why do you care?
Right. That's
like,
the end
I
of it.
really want someone to give me a good, like someone that is like against gay marriage and against gays and against, I guess those are the two biggest ones. Like, I really want them to explain to me their logic. Like, why do you care if two consenting adults are doing, like, what does that have to do with your life?
Because they don't have it.
A life? Yeah.
No, they
Like,
don't.
go find
They
one.
don't have the life that the people who are living out in open. They don't have it,
But then,
and
so
they
go
want
get
it.
that life.
They want it, but they can't because
Well, that's on you. You can. You're.
Period.
You are the master of your own destiny.
Invictus.
Like, as soon as you get to be a certain age, if you're still mad about shit that happened as you're a kid, like, go get yourself some therapy, go to a fucking meeting, like, read a book, listen to there's so many ways to, like, expand and heal your shit that, like, do not cost any money now.
Yeah.
Like, years ago, I get, like, therapy was the only way, but now there's so many other ways. And there's so many other paths. Like, if you get to be 22, 25, and you're still like, me, it's all everyone else's fault. No, bitch, it's your fault. Clean your shit up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're 32 and you're like, I don't know, like, blaming everyone else for your problems, you need to step back, take a breath, and, like, look at your shit. Or if you're angry every day because you're coming home to a certain life, like, you need to figure that shit out. It's no one else's fault. Like, you made those choices.
That part.
Fucking full circle. Period. You made those choices. Even when it sucks, you got to admit you made them on some level. And now it's your job to fix it. It's no one else's job. And a lot of it's going to suck, but it will be worth it. Because, like, you won't care what the dude in the apartment next door is doing as long as it's not, like, cooking meth. Like, you're not going to care what they're doing because
Cooking
it
meth or
doesn't...
touching kids.
Right. Well, I just meant, like, yeah.
Or
either
Jeffrey
one.
Dahmer. We don't
Yeah,
want
like,
that either.
You know, other than murderers, drug dealers, and traffickers. Like, you shouldn't care what they're doing. Because, like, as long as they're adults and they're not hurting someone, why do you care?
Right.
If that person likes to dress up as fucking Pippi Longstocking 4 days a week and, like, ride a fake pony, like, why do you care what they're doing?
Right.
Like, oh, you don't want to see it? So look the other way.
I'm very tempted to just, like, fucking pick up and go and just, like, move to Europe. You want to come?
I'm tempted.
Let's go.
I did think about moving to Hawaii for a hot minute.
Girl, that's
But
still
I
the
fell in
United
love
States.
with all you people. I
And
have a cousin in Portugal.
do you remember that one time, the Hawaii nuclear bomb scare? Do you remember that? Because Hawaii is, like, literally right in the middle before US.
I do.
Yeah, you don't want to, like...
Why? Because living in California is so much better.
I know, right, bitch?
You know, like, we have a nuclear thing here too, right? In Alameda.
What? Do we?
Maybe
tell
it's
me.
gone. Maybe it's gone now because the Navy base is closed. But we used to, and like it even made a Star Trek episode. I've heard this story now 700 times. Since
I've
I moved to this
never
island.
heard it.
So in one of I think it's a Star Trek movie. It could be with a TV show, but they make reference to how they need some nuclear power, so they need to go to Alameda, California, and
That's how Alameda got on the map, folks. Alameda's origin story was from Star Trek.
Yep.
Everyone is welcome.
People were so excited. And like, the first guy that told me that I was like, oh, that's really kind of cool. And he's like, didn't you see that? And I was like, no, I don't. I'm not a big Trekkie.
Ay, Dios.
I no. And even if I had seen it, Alameda back then didn't mean anything to me, so it would not have stuck in my brain. Because I didn't know where it was. I probably also have never seen that Star Trek.
I've never seen it. No, I don't think it exists.
I don't know about it, therefore it just does not exist.
It doesn't exist.
You can't see me. I can't see you.
Wait, do we have the same nail color? I'm
very
literally just
similar.
looking at her nails and okay,
It's
mine
pretty
is a little
similar.
like green. Yours is more like red.
Yeah.
Oh my god, bestie.
I got this one though. I bought that yesterday at the menagerie.
That's really cute.
I know. I'm gonna
Who's
bring
it
it.
from?
I don't remember.
Shout out to that business.
I will post it on the Instagram
Anyway,
with my new nails that I get done this week. Because I'm gonna bring that to the nail salon,
that's actually very cute.
isn't it? And it's like one of those magnetic ones.
Let me borrow it.
All right.
Let me borrow it.
Yeah. After I get these.
Let me borrow that top. I really like that top. I'm just kidding.
You want it right now? All right. Let's close this up because
Yeah.
we've been chatting for a while.
We have been.
And we're both out of
honestly.
wine again.
How healing.
I know.
Thank you so much for having me. I really,
Thank
really,
you.
really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you. Because I'm sure so much of this will hit and help someone somewhere.
I hope so. And let's have a part 2.
Yeah.
Because I
we
feel
will.
like there was so much left unsaid. I would
know.
love to have a part 2 in season 2.
Yeah, let's come back.
Or
We'll
even
talk
maybe
about-
season 1. Just let me know.
We'll talk a bunch, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
All
so
right,
much.
y'all. Thank you for joining us. Go find your joy, and I'll see you soon.
We love you.
Love you.